Steve. You thick-neck motherfucker. Welcome to the Fighting Couch Potatoes. I'm Kadawfi Crush, and I'm here with my boys, Liquid Gold Steve.
Hey y'all, Matthew cried like a bitch, so it's a good day.
And Matt and MattMatt.
First off, I didn't cry. Thought about it, but I didn't do it. That shit hurt.
Bullshit.
That shit hurt.
What?
Watch Grave of the Fireflies and tell me if you ain't fucked up after it.
I watched Arthur Morgan die, and
I
didn't
don't
cry.
care who you watch die. Watch Grave of the Fireflies.
So, apparently...
I'm Batman.
He's crying in the corner, guys.
Right. I'll be back.
So today is going to be an emotionally charged episode. And because we're three guys sitting here talking shit about things that make us cry, we're going to be assholes about it. We are going to kind of sort of roast some of the things, and we're going to try to show some appreciation for Studio Ghibli today. Reason being is, well, I mean, in all honesty, if you've ever seen anything by Studio Ghibli, you've had since 1988 up to today, Totoro.
I think they did something before Totoro.
They opened up their studios in 85, and
That's what it was.
And their first motion picture was My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay. Yeah,
back in 88. Apparently, like, the head of this whole studio, like the big deal behind it, the big art director, Hayao, oh man, how you say the last name?
You fuck it up, you're racist.
Hey,
how you say
you're,
the last name?
you're, you're a little off.
It's how you say the last name.
Well, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry to say this. It's not My Neighbor Totoro. It's Castle in the Sky came first. Then Grave of the Fireflies. Then
Are you sure?
Neighbor Totoro.
Well, they had to make that happy-go-lucky movie after fucking Grave of Fireflies.
Castle in the Sky. And they both came out in 88.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I really appreciate
This makes for a great podcast.
Because I was sure I checked it earlier today twice, but I guess I was still wrong. My bad.
It is Wiki,
Anywho,
so it might be wrong.
Wikipedia.
I mean, I didn't check Wikipedia. I checked their website, but I could still be wrong. Maybe maybe I'm
my fucking bad.
Hey, no, you're the fact checker. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. So anyway,
Liquid Gold Fact Check.
yeah, Liquid Gold fact check. Here we go. So
Liquid Gold.
what I wanted to get into today, really, for me personally, this is kind of I'm not going to say an emotionally personal episode for me, but it's an episode that I wanted to bring to you guys because, well, honestly, if we're going to be doing anything regarding anime and video games and just nerd culture in general, I think that we should all enjoy some of the beautiful works by Studio Ghibli.
I'm going to put it out there right now. If you haven't seen any of these movies, please stop listening and go watch them first before listening to the episode. We are not involved for you getting butthurt about spoilers.
Well, it's not even so much about spoilers in this go round. It's more so like if you're gonna watch a Studio Ghibli movie, like I kind of suggested to you guys, was go look up the entire catalog, look at all the movie posters, and pick one, because there's guaranteed there's gonna be 3 that are gonna jump out to you immediately. For me personally, my first Studio Ghibli movie was Princess Mononoke, and for anybody who's seen it and for anyone who hasn't seen it, I mean, there's a wild woman, big spirit animals doing gangster shit, and there's a dude with a bow and arrow killing gangster shit. And there's all kinds of other politics going on between nature and between civilization, people, the technological reform of the world. There's a big dynamic there, essentially people versus the earth. And it's a pretty cool story. It's not really one that, well, it could make you cry. It could make you cry, but it's one of the more action-packed ones.
What was the movie called again?
Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. Okay. It just, you explaining it kind of brought a plot point to Ponyo, the one I watched.
Okay.
And it's just the main character's father is fighting the earth because of, I felt like in like the 2 movies I watched.
Wait, why was the main character's father fighting the earth?
He was fighting the earth because he thought that the humans were, and he was a human himself, but he disbanded himself from it, lived in the water, and felt like they were trashing the water, putting waste and trash and wasting the most important resource on Earth,
Right.
which was the water.
And so that convinced him to fight I've never seen Ponyo, and I kind of want to kind of get what you're, so like the father,
He never,
he renounced his humanity,
Yeah.
became a mermaid man.
he didn't become
and
a
then
mermaid man.
he
He was just human.
Okay, so he
He
became
was using
he
magic.
became a water man, and he became a waterbender.
A water
He
bender.
became a mist ninja. All right, okay, so
He wasn't a mist ninja. There's a whole thing. You just,
but hold on. So like, and then what you were saying is that the humans were trashing the water, the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, and he started fighting the earth because of that.
he started fighting the people.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
he was
it
like
would have been the earth,
He was
but
defending the earth.
he was defending the earth. He was
Okay.
because he laid with the pretty much the sea spirit
Oh, is
and made magical babies.
is he Ponyo or is Ponyo one of his
No,
babies?
Ponyo is the baby.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So kind of like Little Mermaid.
So like it looks like Finding Nemo on the cover, but it's like totally not.
Totally not. It's, if you think about it, it's Little Mermaid with sea creatures, sea spirits, and Liam Neeson.
And Liam Neeson.
He's the father.
He's the dad.
He's the
Yes.
father. So
Is he also in the subversion?
no, he's
I
not.
will
In the
find
no,
you.
oh
I
my
will
God.
kill you.
No, man, straight up. Hey,
Dude, that
15
shit
minutes into the movie,
Japanese.
Ponyo gets kidnapped. She had an adventurous spirit, so she traveled on to the earth to check it out, like above water, to check everything out. And Liam Neeson thought she got kidnapped, and he said, I gotta find my daughter. And I said, you got really good experience with that, don't you, Liam
I
Neeson?
got a particular set of
You're
skills.
bad.
But it's okay. Like I said, it's kind of like Little Mermaid mixed with eco-friendly fighters.
Little Mermaid mixed with Captain Planet.
But at the very end, both of like the human and she's more of a goldfish with a human face. They say that she's straight up. It's like,
Oh, okay.
Now,
it's reality mixed with a fantasy. It's
Right.
quick question about Ponyo. So you were saying there's obviously an underwater city or some.
No, there's no
of
water.
civil-
No, it's
He joined the spirits.
The father laid with the sea spirit, the goddess of mercy.
Right.
All right, made Ponyo,
Okay.
but he had he was kind of like an alchemist.
Okay.
He was
Did-
making magic. He was pretty much I don't know how to explain it. He had elixirs that would give him sea powers.
Okay. Before you go on a tangent, let me ask you the question I was going to ask. The above water, regular
reality.
Earth. Okay.
Regular.
Around what time is it based? Because I think I've made a little bit of a connection between all these movies so far.
I wouldn't say like nowadays, but I would say probably the 60s, 70s, because
But hold that thought. The reason I'm asking you that, and it sounds like Studio Ghibli has a bit of a reoccurring plot line in each movie that I've noticed, because I watched Grave of the Fireflies, My Neighbor Totoro, which had spirits in it, forest spirits, almost like the earth is living on itself besides us humans being here, which is really cool. And then Up on Poppy Hill. And those were based in post-war Japan. Because, Grave of the Fireflies is the end of World War II. My Neighbor Totoro is like 1958, and then Poppy Hill is 1964. So it seems like
your whole thing, I got shot you in the foot because it wasn't the 60s or 70s because they were watching flat screen TVs. I forgot the old ladies in the damn nursing home were watching TV.
He wasn't done yet.
Sorry. But continuing on.
Nick.
My neck is thick, ladies and gentlemen.
I noticed that there is a routine or not agenda. What's the reoccurring, like I said, plot line was post-war Japan, right? And that's the 80s movies that were doing that. Because with Grave of the Fireflies, that's the very end of World War II. Like, they're showing the bombings that happened towards the end to make Japan surrender. Before, mind you, no, you don't get a bomb scene with Hiroshima or Nagasaki. That'd be horrid. But it was showing the end of that and how that affected their world, and then you continue on to a movie like I'll go on up on Poppy Hill. They're still dealing with that. You know, it's the 60s, and poverty's still a thing because of it, because people's shit got bombed out and they had to rebuild, which I thought was really cool, because if it feels like to me, when those writers were writing the story, because they did start in the 80s, they grew up in that. Like, you very much saw where their childhood came from through their stories that they were telling, and I thought that was really cool.
Yep. Yeah, that is one of the really cool aspects of like how they put their stories together. One of the things that like I kind of wanted to point out as far as like theming is concerned is what I've noticed via Studio Ghibli, because like I think I have the most experience with it. I've seen movies that I didn't even realize were Studio Ghibli movies till like later in life. But like what I seem to have learned from them is that like you get like setting wise, you get one of three different types of settings with Studio Ghibli. You get like the normal world, and it'll have like some strange spiritual kind of stuff happening. Kind of like how you explained Grave of the Fireflies. Totoro is kind of like that.
Totoro is heavy into that.
Princess Mononoke is like that, where it's like it's a feudal area. You're like in feudal Japan during that time frame. And the weird thing is the spirits again. You can get a place, one where you're like taking place in a strange world with something semi-normal happening. Whereas like Nazca of the Valley of the Wind, it's a very strange world. Like the world's eating itself. There's these gigantic bugs around, but the normal thing that's going on is like this fight for survival and still trying to resuscitate Mother Nature. That's kind of that normal, still being a planeteer, so to speak. And then you have the ones where you're just in a strange fucking place and everything's strange. Kind of like Howl's Moving Castle. You're in a strange, it looks like it could be the real world, but it's very uncanny. But then like everything around it is just fucking weird. So where something that has like, where a guy having a moving castle that literally walks and is like this big giant magical mechanism, where it's not that strange, where it's like a very unique and rare thing to see, but it's not that strange in that world, because that world itself is full of magic, weird shit.
It fits right in.
It just comes right, again, still rare, and it's like, oh shit, there's the guy with the moving castle. But it's not like fuck, kill it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just taking from listening to what movie choices you're picking for each one. I feel like I was always in the first category of normal world, strange shit was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it's weird how they have three kind of settings. And I felt like I knew what Studio Ghibli was kind of. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just Disney light.
Nope. Because Studio Ghibli is Ghibli.
And not even Disney light, like it's Disney hardcore, the way they tug at you about certain things.
And that's the thing about like, it makes me want to watch more of these movies to see what differences there are, because in the second movie I watched, The Cat Returns, it felt like it was a Disney movie. Mm-hmm. But then at the middle part, getting closer to the end, felt like some shit was about to happen. Some like crazy shit. And I was like, this ain't no Disney movie. Like this ain't heartwarming or childish. Like real shit could happen.
Right. It's like dramatic, but at the same time cute, but at the same time very deep with like how they decide to present their stories and their worlds. Which one of the beautiful things about what they do, and you guys know, my biggest thing is hand-drawn animation. You know, when you're using as little bit of computer technology as like I know it takes these guys an ice age to make us these beautifully long drawn out movies, but they're doing it frame by frame with watercolors and ink, and it's like, honestly, it's my favorite thing about any of the movies.
A lot of the movies look the same, like the characters, like their faces, and you can see it in their eyes. That's what it is for me with a lot of different animation. You could tell who made it by looking at their eyes, mm-hmm. right? And every single Studio Ghibli movie I saw, or like I was looking through the list, like Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke, I saw that too. Mm-hmm. And they all seem to stick to the same thing. And it looks like some of the scenes, especially earlier on, are kind of choreographed.
Mhm.
Almost like how they did back in the day with Disney, like with Snow White or Cinderella,
Right.
where they draw over somebody moving.
Right.
Which I really like. It's really cool.
I think I forget what that's called, like what technique that is,
I can't
but like
remember.
it looks like a lot because like a lot of times you can see like when someone falls down, like in the Secret World of Arrietty, like she falls down a bunch. But she busts her ass a lot. But
She tripping on air, guys.
bruh, she's a anyway.
That bad.
She's an itty bitty little thing, and she has to go out into the real world and deal with trying to recover. I believe her father. I believe is what it is. He kind of gets kidnapped sort of by accident because they're itty bitty people and they're living inside somebody else's house, but they're living like behind the walls and shit and have like this whole world to themselves.
So
in this
they
house.
mice.
They're not quite like mice either. I think they get along with all the woodland creatures too. You know, like they're cool with like the mice help them do shit and like the ants and the grasshoppers do shit for them. You know, like I think they can ride grasshoppers, but
they're fairies.
not exactly. They're like gnome people, sort of, kind of. But like she busts her ass a lot, and you see like the animation, like how she falls, and like the way a human arm would fucking collapse when you fall and bust your ass, you know?
For the artwork, just to track back, watching both, like I watched more newer movies, so I didn't have the 80s or 90s kind of art style.
Right.
It was, I've got to say, The Cat Returns has a scene that's very beautiful. It's very, like, they know how to change the range of motion or change the range of color. Like, they can be very mundane with their coloring and then very bright and colorful certain parts to make it pop out of the screen. There was a point where she was following, in The Cat Returns, the main character was following a cat to a secret place, and it was a long, drawn out hallway. And I thought it looked really lifeless. And then the characters came in and it brought life to that little space. I thought it was because it was a long shot.
Right.
Like they came into the shot with it. And then my second for the artwork, they feel very airy, like kind of bouncy, little like floaty to me. Mm-hmm. There's realistic art style in the background to me,
right?
But the characters kind of pop off the stage,
in motion or something.
But it ain't like that. Like I know what a difference between like a moving character, but I don't know. To me, it felt like they have more bounce in their step than a usual anime character.
Right.
And there was one other part that was very beautifully drawn. In Ponyo, Ponyo gets magical. She is pure magic, but she gets a magical power boost, pretty much, from an elixir that her father was trying to make.
Okay.
And she made a tsunami happen. She got so much power from this boost that she made a tsunami happen. Ooh, and she was walking or running on water. Not like Naruto, like she was making waves to walk on water that looked like fish.
Whoa.
It looked like it was a very beautiful scene. She was trying to catch her love interest. The mother called him Sasuke in the first scene, but his name is Sosuke. I was about to call that bitch out. I was like, no, don't call him that little punk ass bitch.
I know Sasuke.
But continuing on, I thought the artwork was very beautiful. Not watching the older ones, it might be a little different because of the art style.
The backgrounds are really cool. Like, not just the backgrounds. That's what's really cool about these movies is they never felt just like a backdrop. Like what you were saying with the characters being puffy and always moving, they felt like they were in that scene, you know? Like, there's a part that I think out of the three movies was my favorite looking scene was in My Neighbor Totoro. Totoro's been going around their house because they just moved and going around their house collecting acorns, right? And the younger sister collects acorns after meeting Totoro and goes to they plant a garden. They plant a tree garden because her mom's sick and want, you know, something to remember her by and something she could see when she gets back. And Totoro comes out the woodwork, no pun intended, and does a dance, a blessing around the tree, and makes it grow huge, right? And I mean huge. And one of the things you saw Totoro do the first time was there's a big tree next to their house, and he was up on top of it playing an instrument in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And when he grew the tree, he brought the two girls with her, which I'll get to the characters, because characters in all these movies, at least the ones I watch, the main characters are mostly children, but they didn't feel like it because they were so mature, and they were like, you usually had the older sibling who had their self collected, and then the one who still wanted to be a little kid. But going back, Totoro brings them to the top of the tree that they planted, and they're sitting there playing the flute with them. And the dad of the two girls is in his workshop, and adults can't really see these forest spirits, right? He looked right up at them while they was on top of the tree and just smiled, and I'm just like, you're a homie, you get it.
You know what's going on.
You know, like Dad didn't want to say nothing, because the next next day they wake up, trees back, like the garden just sprouted. It's not this big huge tree in their backyard no more, and the dad don't really say nothing about it. But I'm like, you saw.
You know what's going on.
You saw it happen, because the younger sister finds Totoro before the older sister, and not once did he call her out on it. Right, like his dad, I found this big old Totoro. What the hell's a Totoro? Oh, it's this big, huge, monster. He's got a big, wide mouth. He's covered in fur. And he's like, oh, you met a forest spirit. Like, he didn't call his daughter like, oh, that's stupid. That's for children,
He knew what was going on already.
And they even go to the shrine up the hill to go pray to the forest spirit. I thought that was really cool, because they, segueing into the next thing with the characters, the adults usually treated the kids like, with respect, and as adults, like, they know what the hell they're talking about. They're not like just, oh, that's a stupid kid, Like, he talked to them like they were normal human beings. Like, there's a part in Grave of the Fireflies where they're living with their aunt, and their aunt's like, this is the whole kind of the plot point of the movie. Their mom gets hurt in one of the fire bombings, right? They go to the hospital, the bomb shelter, and their mom is like bandaged from waist up, covered in burns. Right, bleeding through her bandage. The doctors just told him that she fell asleep, and the next day they come back, and they're carting the mom off, and like when they lift her up, maggots and flies and shit are where she was at, because she died. Because the show wanted you to know that we're not fucking around here. This is what's going on. And they move in with their aunt, and it's okay for a couple days, but then after a couple days, they're like it's like a 10-year-old. 10, 11, 12-year-old, somewhere around there, and like a 3-year-old. That's the two main characters of Grave of Fireflies. And she's like, y'all aren't doing shit around here. Why do I have to make you this certain type of food when they're rationing and y'all aren't doing shit? So he's like, all right, fuck you, Aunt. I'm leaving. And they move into a bomb shelter together. Yeah.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's like the first 30 minutes of the movie.
That sounds depressing.
pretty
Like,
rough.
I never
And
had.
they have to deal with, like, this is wartime Japan. They're dealing with Americans bombing.
Yeah.
All the time.
All right. So, tugging at the heartstrings, I gotta ask, for Studio Ghibli, did any of the music ever kind of touch you in that way? Like, emotionally, ever hit you at the heartstrings?
I always like the opening of their movies, because they usually do like a big sweeping shot of like the landmass that we're dealing with, like the area we're dealing with. And that's when they play like good music. And like, usually for me, the music and the visuals go so hand in hand that like, I can't sit here and go, well, in this moment, the music was the best for me. Howl's Moving Castle.
It just
I'm
fits
sorry,
together.
not Howl. I'm sorry. Kiki's Delivery Service, where she's in the storm. I remember that scene kind of vividly. But there was certainly music going on, but again, it's the visual that captured me, and like there was noises and lightning, and I remember being on the edge of my seat watching this little girl trying to just fly through a storm on a broom, and just like, oh my god, is she gonna make it? Oh my god, Kiki, you guys, she's the fucking main character.
We got 20 minutes of movie left.
She doesn't have to make it, but I'd appreciate if she did.
So, there really isn't. I was just asking if, because I never felt that way, and usually some movies will touch you in like with a musical number.
Right.
There doesn't have to be emotion from a scene. Sometimes, like perfect example, HBO Max made The Last of Us, and they made Bill and Frank's episode. They made 5 minutes of a game, a great episode.
Oh,
And
okay.
and the ending song was their song,
Was,
and it was
Linda
it made you
Ronstadt.
think of them. Like it to me, sometimes music
Sometimes the music
amplifies
goes hand in hand with things.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'm not taking away from the movie because I feel like both movies I watched were great movies.
Right.
So
Like I could probably hear that Totoro when they were up on when he was playing a little banjo. It wasn't a banjo, but when he was playing that, I could probably hear that and think of that movie again.
The best music in that whole movie was the very, like you were saying, the very opening.
Yeah.
But they didn't do a like wide shot. They did a little animation piece where Totoro and friends was playing the drum, and they was marching along like a little band. That got me hyped for the whole movie.
Having a good time with that.
Really, that was a great movie. That was a great fucking movie.
and something came in my mind. I forgot to say this. I think because they kind of accepted forest spirits more, like the adults accepted forest spirits more, is because, and I might be out of line because I don't know. I'm an American, but I think Japanese people or the Japanese
Culture,
or at least the Asian culture kind of see spirits more than in America.
I don't know, like if they see them, like
Not like
Not
that,
physically see
but
but you're right.
Acknowledge.
Like they like it's my understanding, Japan like never had like a national like religion.
there's not Christianity
They
in
just
Japan.
kind of, I mean, it's there now, but like they never really had like a like the Shinto isn't technically a religion. It was kind of like a belief of, you know, a bunch of mythologies and spirit animals and things around like that. You know what I mean? I think that these movies a lot of times kind of take that into reality. You know what I mean? Like they take that idea of how we believe, and they build a world behind all that versus just like, oh, well, these spirits come to fuck with us once in a while, you know, but there's a world behind that they exist in, and once in a while that bleeds over into what we're doing. I think is like what they try to do with that is my guess, from watching through the movies and whatnot. The movie that I actually watched, Nazca of the Valley of the Wind, that was a new one for me. I'm not 100% sure when it came out. I could be wrong. I think it said 88, but it might have said like 90. I might be wrong. It was a 2-hour movie, and it was about well, Nazca. She's the princess of the Valley of the Wind. She lives in this part of the world where essentially we've already destroyed ourselves. We've already wrecked everything, and at this point, nature has tried to take back over the cities, but it's become poisonous. It's become just extremely, like 5 minutes within one of these cities would just kill you without your mask and whatnot on. There in the cities, they actually call them jungles, because of how the plant life is taken back over. There's also these gigantic bugs that exist, and apparently all these bugs live together in some kind of harmony to where if you fuck with one, you're going to enrage the entire jungle. And these bugs aren't exactly small either. Like there's some of them that are like the size of like cities, and those ones will gather up in a rampage and just obliterate everything in their path.
Where's my fucking Power Ranger at?
Oh man, you need like 20.
You need 20?
Yeah,
20
like
Power Rangers.
Like 20 Power Rangers.
What?
With each a Megazord each. Because these things are vicious. They drop these shells, these gigantic, they're called ohms, these gigantic bugs. They when they shed their skin, the people actually go to the jungles, try to find bits and pieces of them, and try to use those bits and pieces to make new material out of.
Resourceful.
They're very, very, very great pieces of material to use. Old girl had some kind of knife, Nazca. She had some kind of knife that was supposed to be like, you know, an all around like animanium level blade. And she went to stab into this shell, and it chipped her blade. And she was like,
Animanium.
what did I say?
No, I'm just making
Antiman.
Animanium.
Antimanium?
Animanium.
It was like some kind of Gundanium or some shit. It was like some kind of Gundanium or some shit. And she stabs into it and it chips her blade. And she's like, damn, this must be like the shit. So it's her job to, essentially let everybody at the village know, like, hey, we got a big ass shell out here. Here's the location, blah, blah, blah.
So if she would have had the Z sword, you think it would have chipped too?
I think it would have broke the Z sword.
It would have broke the Z sword.
I don't know. I can't make that statement. But
cut a rock. Let's cut the strongest material in the universe. Dumbass.
So what's going on here is like that's just kind of like the basis of like where their world is set up at. Apparently there are other countries out there and they do have these gigantic airships, something like you would see in the Marvel movies. One of those big things. They have those
helicarriers,
and they like a helicarrier. But I think they just straight call them airships.
They should.
They use those for travel and for war purposes. At one point, one of the airships comes over their part of town and they're trying to force the people of the Valley of the Wind to join their little shitty kingdom. And they're also currently at war with another kingdom, and this kingdom sets them up and makes it look like they killed the king of the Valley of the Wind, and so now nobody has anybody's back at this particular point. And Nazca is just sick and tired of people dying because she actually got to see her father perish. He was a sick king and was already on his way out, but they took his ass out, and she saw that go down and just killed like 10 people. And when she realized what she did, she broke down, boo-hooed, fuck, why did I do that? And for the rest of the movie, she's getting in the way of anybody dying from this point forward. And people do some fucked up things to the bug people to cause the bugs to rampage towards the people of the Valley of the Wind, getting ready to destroy the whole valley. Shit gets kind of out of hand.
This sounds like some backstabbery ass shit.
It gets kind of out of hand for a while there. But and then like new characters like introduced, but like you immediately like them. Like it's kind of weird. Like you meet a brand new character, like I like that guy. Yeah, all right.
Then he dies.
Because then like Nazca's really cool herself. She has like this glider thing she can use, and it has like a jet to it, so she can launch. But then like she just glides on the wind the whole time. Like apparently nobody else can do that. Not like her. She can do that shit in the middle of a rainstorm. I mean, she is just amazing. Apparently.
So the setting is like post-apocalyptic.
Oh yeah.
But because it's been a while, now they have kingdoms that rule
other parts of the world.
They're starting over is what they're doing.
Pretty much.
They're starting over and they're trying to battle back the jungle because like getting up to the jungle at a certain point, it just poisons you. And the little shitty kingdom that shows up, they actually have a queen who's another princess, I can't remember the name of the kingdom, but she's kind of dope. She wears all gold. And when she takes her armor off,
it's the liquid gold princess.
Kingdom. But anyway, she has like
a thick neck.
She does not have a thick neck, but she acts like she's really, really tough. But you can kind of tell she's bullshit. But at the same time, when it comes to making decisions, she's all about it. There's giant monsters that were used like 7,000 years ago, called like the giants, essentially some kind of thing the humans made, and she reawoke one to stop the Ohm from coming to fuck their life up. And it was like this Titan-sized being that shot Kamehamehas out of its mouth. It was ridiculous. And like, yeah, it lost. It didn't win its battle. Exactly. That's how strong those fucking bugs were.
What can you do? Ride a broom on the wind?
That's how potent those bugs were. It's a cool little movie. I'm skipping around a good bit because I kind of don't want to give the story away.
You want to talk about Studio Ghibli?
Well, it's not that. It's just I don't want to give. It's an interesting movie, and anybody who wants to see it, it's one I had never heard of. But Nazca of the Valley of the Wind is a pretty kick-ass movie. It's pretty solid. It's not a whole bunch of action, but it's a lot of like adventure. It's pretty fun and
a lot of deep story.
And you not really even that. You just really get a lot of like shots of like this young girl trying to take care of nature and just trying to do things the way we said we should always do. And she's the only one who is capable of communicating with little forest animals and the the giant omen shit. She's the one who's able to calm them down when they're flipping the fuck out without having to kill them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Kadawfi Crushes. Just saying. I hate the new Pokemon. Damn near all of them. They have horrible designs, especially that ice cream looking motherfucker. I wish Digimon was better, but then they just keep falling off over and over. Yu-Gi-Oh's better than Digimon at this point, and it's sad. People still play Yu-Gi-Oh! Metal Gear Solid, we're never gonna get that back. That's over. Thanks, Konami. Capcom, if you stop releasing shit on Xbox, your games will be better. Devil May Cry proved that right. And so did Street Fighter, because nobody plays fighting games on Xbox. Anime is starting to look real lame these days, like most of their main characters. Have y'all even like looked at what the motherfuckers on Jujutsu Kaisen look like? I think the Powerpuff Girls is better than God of High School. Honestly, the Powerpuff Girls is better than a lot of anime. Like, I bet you we could go episode to episode with Powerpuff Girls versus One Piece and we'll still come out on top even though there's 10,000 episodes less. I think One Punch Man ain't as strong as everybody think he is. I think they just have better animation to show how strong he is. Although I still think Saitama would put the paws on everybody on My Hero Academia. Except for that Tsukiyomi fella. He's pretty cool. I don't want anybody to hurt him. I still don't like people who have body pillows. I think a Silent Hill anime would scare my panties off. It'd be pretty cool if we had like the Office version of anime. Like, keep it just as mundane, but just as funny. Baki is the closest thing we'll ever get to a UFC anime. Anytime a character has a bad hairline, you know he's the most badass. And that has been Just Saying with Kadawfi Crush.
It's just insane listening to all these stories from both of you guys and feeling like I didn't watch the same studio.
Exactly. That's
like, it didn't, like, I felt like we're on like two polar opposites. Like, mine was all happy-go-lucky, cheerful. It might be a little sketch moment at one of the movies, but most of the time it was sunshine and rainbows. We got death from Graves of the Firefly. And
Hey, I watched more than that.
I mean, Matt went straight for the saddest ones he could find.
and
No,
then,
My Neighbor Totoro was good.
And then Kadawfi
Puppy Bill was good too.
Gaddafi got post-apocalyptic and some girl gonna die in a rainstorm. Like,
Well, I think
Hey,
that's kind of the point of this episode. It's like
My
it's all
people-
from the same creators. It's
my
all from the
people
same
float-
minds.
And that was kind of why I wanted you guys to look at the posters and go,
What
I
the
think
hell?
I want to see this. Because, like, I'm surprised, if y'all did look through the posters, I'm surprised neither one of y'all picked Tales from Earthsea. There's a big-ass dragon on the front of it. Like a big, well, maybe it was more for me to pick. It's it's a big, like, wood dragon on the front of it. And, I mean, Princess Mononoke, like, I'm surprised y'all didn't pick that one. Kiki's Delivery Service, I'm sorry y'all didn't pick that one. Because that one's heat. Spirited Away is heat.
I plan on watching them. I didn't pick. See, when I went to go pick the movies, I looked at there was 3 different websites I looked at, and every single one, the very first thing that popped up was Spirited Away, and like not too far away from that was Kiki's Delivery Service. But then I saw Totoro.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the big blue bastard himself, and I'm like, I want to see what that's all about, because I've been to nerd stores. I've been to stuff like Box Lunch and Hot Topic and shit like that, and seen those
FYI.
FYE.
FYE. My bad.
They closed that shit. It's bullshit. Anyway, and I've always been kind of interested in what the hell was going on with those because, like I was saying earlier, all the characters, quote unquote, look the same. You know, the animation style, like they don't look exactly the same. Like you're not going to see the dad from Totoro in Poppy Hill. You know what I mean? Like those are two different stories. There's shit going on in each one. But they all felt like they were, quote, like a part of the same family. You get what I mean?
Righteous. Yeah, absolutely.
Why I picked my movies. Well, first of all, Kadawfi said he really, really didn't like the way Ponyo looked. So yeah,
On the cover.
That was my first choice.
You watched that out of spite?
Out of spite, automatic.
God damn it, Steve.
Hey, I very respect out of spite choices because that was a beautiful story with beautiful artwork and beautiful characters.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for
An
you.
amazing dub casting. They had Liam Neeson.
It was over after Liam Neeson watching that.
Watching that.
Like particular set of skills.
Are you throwing trash in the ocean? I will come for you.
And
I will find you. And I will kill you.
Hey, and he looked like a drag queen while he was that
Most gangster drag queen you've ever
gangster
seen.
drag queen.
All, but besides Hisoka.
I don't know who Ahsoka is. Continuing on, the Cat Returns. I picked it not because I own cats. It's just that was the first one I saw, and it kind of looked cool.
The Cat Returns does look cool. I haven't seen it yet myself.
And Tim Curry's the King Cat or the Cat King.
Oh shit! Tim Curry comes back again in one of our episodes again, huh?
We need to get him on here.
I think the reason why I like Studio Ghibli movies so much is, well, besides the hand drawn artwork, is like because I grew up watching shit like Fern Gully and Captain Planet. You know, take care of the fucking Earth, asshole. And those are the movies that always drew me closer to Studio Ghibli movies. Like I usually watch the ones that have some type of nature magic element somewhere involved. You know what I mean? Even Howl's Moving Castle, like a little bit of that was like nature magic, and a lot of it was just like dark magic. You know, oh shit. But it kind of came from the fact that there was like fucked up parts of the earth. It's a thing.
One thing that's really cool about the studio is with the movies they make, about them being just one-off movies, because I don't know if there's any sequels or not.
Apparently, Ghost in the Shell Part 2.
Okay.
Apparently, I didn't know that either.
They feel like I don't have to sit there and watch a 1,000 episode anime to get this whole story.
Yeah.
They just serve it up to you on a nice hot plate.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go. It's still sizzling.
I've been telling you guys for years that I prefer to watch a movie than I do a series.
Mm-hmm.
Like when y'all come to me and go like, hey man, you Fire Force, you check this out. Like it's been out for 6 episodes. I'll see that shit later. Like I'll catch it later. I'll catch Naruto later.
I'm just
And there's
happy I watched Naruto when everything else came out. Because
Yeah.
I would have watched that.
Like
I wouldn't have watched
I couldn't have gotten through Shippuden if I had to watch Shippuden every week like everybody, like all the normal people.
Fuck Naruto.
I would have gone haywire.
Fuck My Hero.
My Hero is just a Naruto clone. Like legit too. It's
Suck ass Academia.
My Hero Academia don't need 15,000 filler episodes of flashbacks from Sasuke's ass's point of view.
But we do.
Well,
need
someone has to
15,000 We do need 15,000 episodes of Deku crying.
Hey,
Crying.
he got his shit together by season
Hey.
4.
By
Hey,
season
and
4,
By season 4,
he only cries a
he
little
feels like
bit.
the main character.
he only cries 2 episodes a day, huh? Oh, cry,
Hey.
baby ass.
Hey, Matt. Don't get
Cry
mad.
more than Gohan.
Don't get mad.
Gohan, stop.
Gohan stopped crying
Gohan-
10 episodes in.
Gohan stopped that shit early, bruh. Motherfucker, he stopped
Piccolo
that shit.
beat that shit out of him.
He stopped that shit after he saw
That's
Piccolo
what a dad's
die.
supposed to do.
That's
Hey,
right.
Piccolo should have a talk with
Hold on.
Gohan.
Hold on. Out of both movies, there's one part, or there's the funniest part in The Cat Returns, reminded me of Emperor's New Groove. There was a jester that fucked up in front of the king,
Nope.
and he threw him out. Threw him out the castle.
Oh,
Looked
shit.
just like the Emperor's New Groove. And he did it twice on people.
Which movie came first, bro?
I think Emperor New Groove because
Emperor's New
because
Groove was 2006. Something like that.
you sure?
It was like 2000.
Because The Cat Return came out on the
4.
best day of the year, my birthday.
the same year?
No,
Oh.
2002.
Well, that
That's the day they stopped making men.
Yeah, 2000 when they stopped making men stop
no,
playing.
they stopped making y'all in the 90s. Sorry.
Thanks.
They stopped making tough kids after the 80s, cuz. I got the last of the batches while I'm so short.
Yeah.
I got the
Little
last
short
of the
bastards.
juice.
But yeah, I felt like out of both my movies, Ponyo was a better structured movie,
Mhm.
but The Cat Returns had funnier moments.
I find it funny that you, of all people, went and found the more lighthearted stuff. Like, I just find it hilarious, considering the type of masochistic shit you like normally.
It was just a luck of the draw. You hated Ponyo.
You're just an asshole, and it's forced you down.
Out of spite, I grabbed that shit.
And it forced you down a peaceful road. Where Matt texted me and said, "Which one's the saddest one?" And I was like, "That's not how this works, Matt." And then he still went and just like a fucking hound to a treed fucking coon. Fucking here's the sad.
The way I watched the movies was I picked a happy-go-lucky one, which was Totoro, a drama / light.
Doesn't somebody die in Totoro?
No,
No, somebody dies in Totoro. Somebody gets on the bus and doesn't come back.
what the hell are you talking?
Truck Coon showed up in a movie.
Doesn't somebody get on the bus and
Totoro
not
gets on the fucking bus
with a child?
No,
He gets on the bus with a
No!
kid and doesn't come back. doesn't he?
no.
Truck Coon showed up.
I don't know. I'm going to have to watch Totoro again.
Nobody dies.
Hey,
I'm pretty
The
sure
mom
somebody-
comes home. It's the whole credits.
I'm pretty sure somebody died in Totoro.
guys.
You're thinking of Grave of Fire.
I haven't watched Grave, but a Fire.
Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
Guys,
I might.
Truck Coon showed up in one of my movies. I forgot to tell you.
Who'd he hit?
All right, he almost hit. All right, in The Cat Returns, the whole plot is there's a-
New Groove.
No,
The Emperor's
No.
New Cat.
The Emperor's New Cat. The Cat Returns. The main plot. I'll give you a little summary. The main character named Haru had a normal day of high schoolery, and she saved a cat that was walking across the street that was about to get hit by Truck Coon. Found out that was a prince of the cat kingdom. The cats came with the cat king came with the entourage and all of his servants. Gave her a list of cat-related gifts: 1,000 cattails, 100 mice, like 10,000 fish.
Where am I supposed to get that from?
No, straight up, 1,000 cattails in her yard, 100 mice in her school locker,
Nice.
and then she told. Long story short, she told that one of the emperor or the king's servants she didn't want this shit. The servant took it as she wanted to marry the prince.
It's the rules. Take my gift or marry the prince.
Well,
Cat rules.
she didn't want that. She found help from the cat bureau with the Baron. I call him Batman. And
Catman.
hey, he's Catman. He's
Catman.
straight up. He's the guy from Saw that cut his foot off.
I'm Adam West. I'm Catman.
Oh, you're talking about Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
No, the
Or
man
Princess
that
Bride.
cut his foot off in Saw
Yeah.
was the Baron.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, or Princess Bride.
He's not wrong.
Oh, I don't watch that shit.
I watch more movies than you.
What's
You
his
watch
name?
Desert Punk.
What's his name? Something
Fuck
Carey.
if I know.
It's like a
Carl Ewing.
No.
Ewers.
No, that's-
It's a weird name. Like it's
Carl
like it's
Ewers.
like Carrie Ewing or some shit
No,
like
it's
that.
Carl Ewers.
That motherfucking name ain't Carl. I'm
Carl.
telling you, his name not Carl.
Carl.
It's close.
Carl. But continuing on.
Hey, what is
She-
that meme about?
Oh,
Have you ever seen The Walking
What
Dead?
did he do wrong?
That's how he talks.
No.
Coral. No.
Oh,
He's- okay.
What did he do
Carl
wrong?
shot the mom after she gave the birth.
Yeah.
She died from complications.
So he shot her anyway.
Yeah, she died from complications, came back as a zombie, because if you die and you
Right.
don't get shot in the head in that
Right.
world,
You come back as a zombie. So like,
and Rick wanted to see his wife before she died, and she
Oh.
found, and what the worst thing was is Carl had to put her down, and he did not want Carl to be in that situation to put his mother down after his mother just gave birth to his daughter or to his sister. He did
Oh,
not want Carl to be in that situation. It was already a fucked up situation. He made his own son shoot him because he had to go do something.
Oh, he fucked that up.
All right,
so
continuing on. The Baron saves Haru from the Cat King because the Cat King wanted a little bit of slice of that ass. That's what made it kind of creepy, was because the prince wasn't there. And they were making her like dress up as she was going to be the princess. And someone was going to get laid. And the Cat King sounded like he wanted to get laid.
You would find the creepy one too.
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that till that happened. Then after that, it was a good ending. That was it. It was happy ever after. She survived. That was it.
Good fun times.
She was turning into a cat, but she fucking, if you don't focus on becoming a cat, you won't become a cat. That was it.
Good fun times. All right. So that's how you don't become a cat in Studio Ghibli world. You just focus on not becoming a cat, apparently.
If only that's how it worked for Starving.
Because, like, dude, I've never focused on not being a cat. I mean, there have been times in my life where I was like, I could be a little bit of a cat here. It'd be kind of nice. Be a little more limber. Like, bro, you telling me you don't want to jump 40 feet in the air and land like it's no big deal?
Yeah, until you got no opposable thumbs.
Cats don't need opposable thumbs. Look
they
how
box
get around.
anyway.
Look at it. Yes, they do. But so ladies and gentlemen, no.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you, sir. This has
Headphone
been
warning.
no.
This has been the Fighting Couch Potatoes and our take
Hold
on.
on. There has to be a closeout. You can't just like close it out like that.
I sure was.
Can't
I was
do that.
I was going to, because what I was going to say was, this has been the Fighting Couch Potatoes and our take on Studio Ghibli. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
Oh, look at there.
You thick neck motherfucker.
I have two.
Damn it, Steve.
Then I have it.
I have two things.
I have three.
Go ahead, Matt. Matt, we'll let you go first.
The first is I have slept on this fucking studio for so long. And I probably should not have gone straight to Grave of the Fireflies. It's a good movie. I recommend it. Fucking rip your heart out and put it in a drawer so they can't do it to you. Steve, shut the fuck up. That's about it.
That was a great final thought, Matt. Matt, I agree. Steve, shut the fuck. No, go ahead, bro.
First off, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
the Fighting Couch.
Oh, wow. No.
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All I got to say is Matthew cried like a bitch. So
I didn't cry like a bitch.
You cried like a man.
I cried. Hey, it was coming, but I said get back in there, and I wasn't going to do it.
He got
Still.
one tear almost escaped.
Still, MattMatt cried like a bitch, so this is a win for me. I feel like Studio Ghibli, what MattMatt said is kind of true. I slept on this studio. I'm happy that Kadawfi brought us into this. I feel like I'll probably watch a few more. I don't know. I'll see how I feel about them. Because I really don't want my heart to be fucking stomped out.
Hide that from them.
I mean, pick the ones you want to see. That is always my best suggestion. Pick the ones you don't pick the ones that somebody said you should go watch. Go look at the ones and like, I think I kind of like that. And like, it's kind of like picking a character in a fighting game. You pick the one that you think looks cool.
And Liam Neeson can be a voice actor to any movie I watch. That was the best fucking thing to hear his voice in Ponyo. Absolutely. The best fucking thing.
You weren't expecting it.
Great movie, but having Liam Neeson in there, I wish he was the fucking narrator. That's how great it was.
Hey, a Studio Ghibli movie narrated by Samuel L. Jackson, and the main character is Liam Neeson.
And Morgan Freeman.
No,
And
no, hold on.
no.
Narrator has to
Morgan
be
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Then it's Liam Neeson, the main character, and the Skippy sidekick is Samuel L. Jackson.
The Skippy.
The sidekick.
Did you just call
Samuel L. Jackson a motherfucking Skippy sidekick?
Absolutely.
His name is Liquid Gold Steve. You will sue him, not us, not the Fighting Couch Potatoes as a whole. Now, for me personally,
This is a whole thing, bitch.
For me personally, she said, for me personally, my opinions, my love, my feels for Studio Ghibli. I mean, I think I've kind of spilled it out mostly through this episode. I obviously prefer the things that, you know, go hand in hand with like nature and like animals and spirits and shit. That's kind of like my jam. And they have plenty of it there for me. For anybody who really gets down with the in-depth storytelling that they can tell, or the in-depth art that they can tell, or maybe you just want to be somewhere weird with some weird shit happening. Studio Ghibli really has a wide range for you to enjoy.
It's got something for everybody.
It really does. I mean, something that you could watch with the children. Something, because I mean, like, honestly, if you had a bunch of little boys, like, say you had like 3 boys as your children, you know, you could actually show them Princess Mononoke, and they'd be fucking yeah. There's a wolf and there's a big ass fucking look at that shit. Dude shot an arrow through its face and just and they just watched a movie called Princess Mononoke. You could do that with your little boys. Nazca of the Valley of the Wind, you probably couldn't do that. You could probably do that with your little girl. And she
Fear of the Fireflies, leave that for the adults.
Yeah, keep that one for the grown-ups who all, you know, the sad, depressed kids. Leave
Ponyo's for a child.
Leave that for the Uchihas.
Ponyo's for a child and an adult.
I don't want to hear it. You called Shaft a Skippy sidekick.
Shaq?
Who is the man? Shaft.
Shaft?
I don't know. I've never seen Shaft.
Shaft. Samuel L. Jackson. Shaft, do yourself a favor. Next week, we're going to talk about Shaft.
He was like Shaft like once. He ain't like really Shaft. He ain't. Never mind. We
all right. We talking about something else.
The Shaft smack bitches. Shaft smacks bitches. Like Samuel Jackson did not do that in his Shaft. He was not that kind of Shaft. Let's give you the answer. See, I got things to do. Fuck wrong with anyway. That has been our conclusion to Studio Ghibli. We are the Fighting Couch Potatoes. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
At Fighting Couch Potatoes.
At the Fighting Couch Potatoes. Catch us obviously on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. And go watch some fucking Studio Ghibli. You guys have a good day, night, evening.
Good afternoon.
Deuces.
Evening, and night.